Hello, I'm O Speaks. If you're new here, please like, subscribe, share. How you doing, Ms. Just J? The title of today's live stream is April Chapman goes on another tirade about Candace Owens. I don't know what happened between them. In my last live, I covered her last live, before this one, of course. And it seems to have started behind Kimberly Klasick. And I went over that. I'm not going to rehash that. If you didn't see my last live, check that one out, because she just was saying so many things wrong that I almost felt I had to go live and dispel a lot of the stuff that she was saying, because it was just completely wrong. So instead of looking into what Candace Owens is doing, she looked into how she can show Candace is doing what she thinks she's doing, and did another live stream. So we're going to go over that today. I put the full video in a link to her full video in my description, so you can watch what she has to say. But I want to go over some of her claims. I just think they're weird claims, and I don't understand why she's doing it. And I guess it's not for me to understand. It's probably none of my business. I just don't. I don't like people lying, and that seems to be what's happening. Because it's one thing to be ignorant and say some things wrong. It's another to just outright say things that it seems like she just heard. She doesn't seem to know anything. She just posits a bunch of things, and it's a real gossipy, nasty way to operate. I don't know her. This is the second video I've seen of hers. I've seen parts of videos. Like I said in my last live, my wife watches her, and that was my introduction to her. I've seen her in passing. I've seen parts of her videos. Usually it was on politics or faith. So today we're going to go over another strange live. I don't know how else to explain it. To me, it's strange, and that's what I'm going to do. So without further ado, I'm going to play part 2 of Miss April Chapman going in on Candace Owens. And for the life of me, I don't know why she just doesn't do research. I don't understand that. Instead of just going online and saying everything that you think, you're not doing any research, and you have no idea what Candace Owens is doing, because you already admitted you don't watch her. So here we go.
I want to do one thing.
Actually, before we even start, please hit the like button. I got to do better at saying that. Anyway, I know I said it to start out, but I got to get in the habit of myself verbalizing that. Please hit the like button, or dislike, doesn't matter. Engagement is engagement.
That I've not seen Candace do, and I'm not judging her for not doing it, and it doesn't make me better than her because I'm about to do it. But I first want to pray for Erica Kirk, right? We want to pray for Erica Kirk because she is about to step into the fire, and we're going to name deception for what it is. And we're going to do what the Bible commands, which is to watch out for those who cause divisions and create obstacles contrary to the doctrine that you've been taught. And then the Apostle Paul says something. He says, avoid them, right? So that's why I want to pray and cover Erica Kirk in prayer, because she is stepping into a leadership role at Turning Point. And while Erica is walking into the fire, what I've noticed is that Candace has chosen to stand outside the blaze and sell tickets to the show.
I know with a company at that size, Erica is going to really need to have someone who is very much in her corner. It breaks my heart that she doesn't have Charlie. Charlie would be exactly the kind of person. Like it's the beauty of a partnership, and they had a beautiful partnership. But I really do worry, and I just wanted to express that openly to you guys. I'm concerned about that for some reason, and I guess the best thing to do is just ask everybody to pray for Erica. Pray that she has the clarity to understand and have people around her who are being honest with her. Because I would not want to be in her position right now. I would not want to be in her position because where there is money, money naturally breeds snakes in the garden, and it's very difficult to keep the grass cut low when the yard is that expansive, so to speak.
She is.
So I decided to play that instead of play her prayer, because she said, Candace, she knows she didn't do that, but she called for people to pray for Erica. So immediately she's just wrong, and I don't understand it. I really don't. She's a big YouTuber. She's got like 150,000 subs. You would think she would do some kind of due diligence before going live and just saying stuff. Well, how does she know what Candace did or didn't do for her if she doesn't watch her? And here's what's so weird. There are things you can go at Candace Owens over and be legitimately speaking an opinion, but this is not one of them. She's just making stuff up, and it's weird. I don't understand it. I don't know the young lady, but I it's awkward. It's cringe to watch somebody go from faith to, we'll just say, being wrong. I don't want to say lying. It comes across as lying, though. I got to say, it really does come across as lying, because you should at least look into what you're going to go live about. And this live was over an hour. You didn't look into anything. You just jump on and just throw opinions out there. So jumping back and forth from biblical or scriptures to that it's cringe. It really is.
Spinning conspiracies. She's monetizing, in my opinion, grief. And she's using a whole lot of innuendo and psychology to build this cult following that from my vantage point, from what I can see, no one is asking deeper questions. They're just saying, well, it seems as if a lot of the things that she is saying kind of do make you go, Well, of course they do. But where is the evidence? Where are the receipts? I don't say this lightly. There is a lot of deception at work here. And I've been down this road before, and I've walked and travailed on a journey like this, and it's narcissism. It's deception, it's narcissism, and I believe it is time to mark and avoid it. So first, let's get a few things straight. Charlie Kirk, his voice thundered with a lot of truth. Like, he was known as a truth teller, and the ripple effect of his work and his impact, no one is going to deny that it is going to be felt for generations to come. But what we also know is we know that God is in control, and that the work that Charlie dedicated his entire life to, it doesn't collapse when a servant of God is called home. I'm comforted by the words where Jesus said, I will build my church, right? And that the gates of hell will not prevail against it. So when a warrior is taken out, God is still building his church. We, the people of God, are the church, and we are being built up as a spiritual house. So that should give us comfort. But first, I'd like to ask you, like I said, I want you guys, I think prayer is very important. I've not really publicly prayed on this platform a whole lot. Oftentimes, a lot of the content that I'm covering, it's informative, it's educational. And I'm not saying there's nothing wrong with public prayer. I think we should do that, but I'm not a pastor. That's not the lane that I'm in. I am just a follower of Christ, a disciple of the Lord Jesus. And I happen to infuse my biblical worldview in all of the topics that I talk about. But I would like I said, to pray for Erica. This is a very hostile hour. The shepherd, you guys, of her home, the father of her children, the love of her life, her best friend, was struck by an assassin's bullet. I have no concept of what that feels like. That's always been one of my fears.
The reason why I said, and I meant it genuinely, was to pray for Erica a couple of days ago. And I said she is stepping into a role, a CEO and the chairman of a company that got bigger than Charlie, by everything that I'm understanding, and just having been there, I saw it happening, and a company that she's going to have to learn in 4 seconds how this whole thing's, it is a machine. The adjustment in her life, she's a mother, first and foremost, right? This is what she was doing. She was a mom and Charlie was on the road, and these were Charlie's concerns. Men carry the weight of the world on their shoulders, and they were following that. This was a faithful couple. This is a woman who consulted a priest and prayed when she felt that somebody had put a hex on her husband. And I just think everyone is being a little unfair by trying to assign so much ill will towards someone who hasn't done anything to warrant that. To be thrown into fame, I think, is very difficult when you're not pursuing it yourself, and to be thrown in such a horrific way, it just can't be fun. So I'm just reminding us all to just have a little bit of grace is all.
So she's saying the same thing, but she's not casting this woman off as being divisive and all the other stuff that she's saying. The problem is Miss Chapman or Mrs. Chapman does not watch her. So she has no idea what she's talking about. And she's making up stuff. She's literally making up conspiracies while talking about Candace Owens' supposed conspiracies. The difference is she's making the conspiracies about Candace Owens, and she thinks that Candace Owens is making conspiracies up about what happened to Charlie Kirk, when all she's doing is asking questions, and she has gotten answers, but she wouldn't know because she doesn't watch. She's admitted she doesn't watch.
It was a source of anxiety that I had to submit to the Lord, because I would wake up in the middle of the night just always checking to make sure my husband was still breathing, because I was just terrified of, Lord, if he dies while I have minor children, what would I do? That was a fear, a very real fear of mine. And thankfully, the Lord has alleviated and answered that prayer and alleviated that fear. But it was a very real fear for me. So I can't imagine what she is going through. Here is why I've had to go on record about Mrs. Candace Owens Farmer. Okay. I'm not making this personal. Okay. I'm an adult. I'm somebody's mama. Lord willing, someday soon, I'll be somebody's Meemaw, grandma, So I'm not, like I said, I'm not interested in a cat fight. Okay. The Lord provides for me. So I don't need to create unnecessary controversy, because to add fuel to the fire right now is just not what's needed. However, I hate that it has actually come down to this. Okay, I've had disagreements with Candace in the past. I used to be I held a leadership role within Blexic at one time, left Blexic for the very reason, because of Candace, and never talked about it and told the soul. Still love Blexic. They know where my loyalty lies. They know that I'm 10 toes down for the work that they are doing. And whenever they call me, if I'm able to, I show up. But for years, I've watched Candace's content. I've given her the benefit of the doubt, because I would hope somebody would do the same for me. That's all that this is. And before her people come in this chat, talking about, have you watched all the videos? I'm not about to sit and watch 1,511 hours of this chick on the internet talking crazy. I have things to do. Every now and again, some of us fall off the rails. We might go a little bit too hard, or we might disagree and swim upstream in opposite direction of the prevailing narrative. So I get it. I know what it's like to have a position on something and to have to stand alone, and everybody thinks you're crazy. I get that. I do. So I've given her the benefit of doubt. I have appreciated some of her commentary, a lot of her commentary. I will never take away the contributions that she has made to the conservative movement in terms of being brave and galvanizing lots of people behind a shareable narrative.
It sounds like she used to watch Candace Owens and heard that Candace Owens went off the deep end, does not watch her anymore, and now is trying to capitalize on making videos about her, which is exactly what she's accusing Candace Owens of doing. The difference is Candace Owens is coming with receipts, legitimate questions. This lady doesn't come with any receipts at all. It's all about what she believes. And it's coming from a place of complete ignorance, because I just showed you what she said the last live. She doesn't watch her. And she said, I'm not going to watch her, but you're going to make videos about it. All right.
But all of that can be true. But in the aftermath of Charlie Kirk's assassination, her behavior and her vitriol has crossed a line. And I don't say this lightly, because I know how many people still like her. I get that. I'm not telling you to hate her. I don't hate her. I'd love to see her to come to saving faith in Christ alone. I'd love to see that for her. But this is an ideological disagreement, and then something other than we just disagree on this one sticking political point. What I am seeing is divisive, deceptive. And like I said, I've experienced rolling with a narcissist. So when I see it, I'm like, yeah, this is not looking good. Now,
so again, she's something happened, and she's referred to this person over and over and over and over. So there's an anecdotal issue here, and she's projecting. It's clear she's projecting, because her issue, this seems very, 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 very personal. And she just said it's not personal, but something's going on here, There is a vitriol coming from her, but she's saying Candace Owens is the one with it. And it's really strange.
Contrary to how I see Candace moving. And I am sure that she would even agree with this. She may not admit it, but when it comes to content creation and monetization, I really do believe that there is enough out here for everybody. Y'all, you guys have no idea how much independent media and content creation can be lucrative, especially if you are talented. But there's enough work out here for everyone. There's so much work out here to be done. There's so much for everyone to make an impact and to do something meaningful. But what I see Candace doing right now, like I said, is incredibly deceptive and it is dangerous. We have seen Charlie Kirk it's been 3 weeks? And Candace has released video after video, not to mourn Charlie Kirk, not to highlight all of his wonderful accomplishments and the things that he has done. I've not seen her make a video to stand with his wife, his best friend, Erica Kirk, but instead to monetize grief.
I have to say, any woman that can get on stage and meaningfully say that they forgive the person who killed their husband that quickly, you are truly a better person than me, because I've just been so angry. And yet she was able to, through tears, and obviously you could tell how difficult that moment was for her, but she arrived at forgiveness and she did it in front of the entire world. And I think that every single person should watch that speech, the emotion, the message of it. And you can obviously see why Charlie fell in love with her. Right. I remember meeting Erica. Charlie and I were in New York for something, one another, and he was falling for her hard, but he wanted to play cool. So he's like, come meet her at Del Frisco's in New York City. And I came there and she was just lovely. She was genuinely such a nice person. And I was like, Charlie, just go for it. Just go for it. And he did go for it. And last night, I really do think that the entire world needed to hear her message. What you took from it, how you could apply it to your life is up to you. But specifically, the part that she shared that provided me with so much peace, and I needed to hear it, truly, was when she explained that Charlie did not suffer, because thinking about that is, I really shed so many tears over it. Just thinking that he suffered even for a moment. It was my favorite part of her speech.
It sounds like she did mourn. It sounds like she does have Erica's back. So why is she spreading this narrative? Does she believe it? She comes across as if she believes it. So again, that will take me back to pure ignorance, because I don't want to call her a liar, but she tells lies, whether they're intentional or not. She does lie. It may not be with intent, again, but when you say something that's just blatantly false and you repeat it over and over and over, at what point do you have a responsibility to say, you know what, maybe I should look this up before I just keep saying something? She doesn't seem to have that in her.
Supporting actual justice for Charlie. She's muddying the waters with all of these open-ended investigations, all of these cryptic sources that never resolve. It's a steady drip of half-truths. Some are outright lies, lots of innuendo, all of this insinuation, and all of it is designed to keep people on the hook and, frankly, on her payroll. At first, I was like, you know what? I don't like pocket watching. I make content. I don't want to say this what it is. However, I said the only way for my assertion to be remotely plausible, we got to look at the analytics, right? So I said, okay, let's do it. So I need to show you guys something, okay? I've been doing just a little bit of research, a little homework, not a lot, but just enough to make you ask questions. Since everybody want to ask questions these days, I want to ask some questions, okay?
She did a little homework. She checked a link, and that's the extent of what she did. She didn't do anything else, because she's going to misinterpret everything she's about to talk about.
So I know I'm short, so just do your best to try to see this. I pulled some analytics, and if you can see here at the bottom, 2023, all the way up to like April of 2024, what do you notice? Right? What do you notice? Well, what you'll notice is that the views, this is monthly gain views for Candace Owens, right? Prior to March of 2024, Candace's views were flatlined, okay? They were flatlined. She was sadly becoming irrelevant. I don't take pride in saying that. Like I said, I make content. I know this grind. It takes a lot of talent. It takes a lot of commitment. And it takes, you just have it or you don't. You either got it or you don't, to keep people perpetually engaged and dialed in and tuned into what you have to say. So prior to March of 2024, her views were flatlined, okay? I mean, I didn't make these numbers up. This is, I mean, if you have any number of these services to kind of keep you dialed in on what's going on, you would have been able to pull this up. And so she was sadly becoming irrelevant. And in comparison to the numbers that she used to pull in, nobody was really tuning in. And when I say no, I'm not saying nobody. What I'm saying is in comparison to the following that she had, nobody was really tuning in.
All right. I don't know. I don't understand why she's doing what she's doing. So the reason that it was stagnant is she was not making content for this channel. And what she was putting out were shorts and videos that were owned by Daily Wire. We're going to get to that in a second. Let's look at her. Why is it not sharing? There we go. This is Candace Owens' channel. If you go back, you can even see it right here with just the presentation alone. You can see what happens. Right here, 4 years ago, this is her old channel. This is her old channel. And we're looking at live streams here. We'll look at videos after this. This video here, let me see. Let's pause it. This video here came out in June of that year. Right? If you go to her videos, sorry, it's kind of slow. I don't know why it's going so, where this delay is coming from. You're going to see the exact same thing happen. And she's going to say something that's going to make sense after you see what I'm showing you. Right here. Right here. So right here you see, uh-oh, I got fired. Right? Episode 1. That's episode 1. What's going on, Henry? So what this means is she came back on this date, June 10th. That's the first time she came back. Right? Makes sense? The video right before that one, right here. Pause it. This video came out in February. Well, what happened between February and June? She got fired. See? I'm going to leave this up. We're going to go back to what she's saying.
In my opinion, Candace needed a shock event to stay relevant after losing her Daily Wire salary. This, you see this dip right here in April? I pulled a timeline of when, just give me 1 second to pull it up. Oh, Lord, I got too much going on. Can I pull it up here?
Sure, pull it up there.
Maybe not. Let me see. I got to move some windows over. Oh, Lord, I got too many monitors. All right. Candace was at Daily Wire from late 2023 to early 2024. She was engaged in periodic controversy, but not a lot. No major independent content spikes. Okay, so that first, the graphic that's on the screen now, you didn't really see much traction. Then, March of 2024, she's officially let go from the Daily Wire after repeated anti-Semitic remarks and conflicts with Ben Shapiro. Right there is when there was this sharp decline in views and subscriptions over the next month. So between April and May of 2024. Now, some of the
even right there, what she just said. They were talking about Daily Wire's sharp decline in views, not hers. Listen to what she says. She's not even understanding what she's reading, and I don't know why. I don't understand why.
Then, March of 2024, she's officially let go from the Daily Wire after repeated anti-Semitic remarks and conflicts with Ben Shapiro. Right there is when there was this sharp decline in views and subscriptions over the next month. So between April and May of 2024. Now, some insider baseball, whenever you see a dip like that, typically that means content is being scrubbed and removed and deleted. Well, here's what happened with Candace. She started trying to clean up her content and she deleted a lot of content. Now, if I'm wrong, I will retract this statement. But that is the only explanation as to why you can't get negative views. How do you unwatch somebody? You can't. Content was deleted. When you see that sharp dip like that, that means views get extracted from your tally of accumulated views over time, right? So we see that sharp decline.
Yes, you do. She was scrubbing her page because it was Daily Wire content. Let me go back to this. It's weird that anyone has to do this. But at that time, what she's talking about, this video here from February 29th, see that, February 29th? It's still representing Daily Wire. It still links to her other channel. Her other channel, Henry, she's a big YouTuber. It's weird. So if you click on this link here, this takes you to the real channel. Oh, what happened to it? Oh, that's right. She got fired. This is the channel that they would route people to. So what does that mean? That means she would go live, and anyone who watches her knows this. But because she doesn't watch her, she doesn't know this. They would start a live stream.
People that have gone through the IVF journey, so don't worry, you're not going to be insulted by this in any way. I know how critical for some people that are really just trying to have.
All right, she would start a live stream, and then halfway through, she would say, "Hey, everybody, we're going to go over to Daily Wire, which was a paid subscription-based platform. We're going to go over there, and we're going to leave here." And that's what happened. So when you watch this, or when you see this, her views never dipped. They didn't change. Her views never changed. They were being routed to a Daily Wire channel. That's it. So the content that had to be scrubbed was not owned by her. That's it. It's really simple. But she's coming to this conclusion. Nobody was watching her. Nobody's watching her, and then she tried to clean up her channel. No, she had to. It wasn't hers, which is why it's a blank channel now. There's nothing there. Still has 3 million subs there. So there's a reason why she did what she did, and it had nothing to do with, I don't even know what the suggestion is, but she just keeps saying that, her content was flat. Well, this wasn't her main channel at all. And they would redirect people to the other channel or directly to Daily Wire. And it was a subscription based, it still is, platform. So they would cut away when it started getting good. And that's it. And you can see the views. It literally happens. What's up, Lou? It literally happens before your eyes. This is live streams, 214K views. These two here still reference Daily Wire. Or no, sorry, this one doesn't. This one isn't. This one is Blexit. So, sorry, I was looking at the videos. But if you look at her streams, her content did not. It wasn't flat. She wasn't losing anything. That's when her channel started back up. That's why you see the spike. How she's describing it is that she was just doing so bad and she didn't know what to do, and she's going to say what she thinks happens. But the reality is, this was a Daily Wire video. This was a Daily Wire video. This was a Daily Wire video. Maybe she didn't have to scrub them because it had this other, what is that? Whatever podcast. I don't know why she didn't have to, but she was still linking them. Immediately when she went on her own, 2.8 million, 1.9 million, 161,000 on a 5-minute video, 141,000 on a 3-minute video. So I don't know why she's making it sound as if Candace Owens was falling off. And I'm going to show why I can prove that she wasn't falling off, but I just wanted to show that so you guys understand what you're looking at here.
In March of 2024, right after she's let go from the Daily Wire, Candace gets on the Brigitte Macron bandwagon. Okay? She begins pushing Brigitte Macron, the transgender conspiracy, on her own channel. Within 2 to 3 weeks, look what happened. Look what happened. This is April. May, once she gets on the Macron bandwagon, massive spike in views. Massive spike.
No, that's the thing. She's a black supposed conservative. That's what I'm like. I don't understand any of this. She was in Blexit. She was a part of Blexit. She's a conservative young lady. She does Christian content, and her last 2 lives have been about Candace Owens, and she's just saying things that are wrong.
Massive engagements, which equates to massive monetization. So here's what I did. I was like, okay, but it seems as if she was able to carve out an audience that likes conspiracy theories, and she would take them on this never-ending ride that was enjoyable. I mean, if you was on that ride, you were enjoying it because you were always looking forward to the next one. Why am I bringing this up? This matters because she's got a history at this point of taking the Macron chick allegedly being a man is not Candace's idea. That idea has been swirling around from a book that was previously published, and Candace just took it to a whole nother level. Okay. So in my opinion, she needed a shock event to stay relevant after losing her Daily Wire contract, and the Macron conspiracy was her financial reboot. Why? Because the timing of her renewed engagement coincides perfectly with her public firing and then her first Macron videos.
What is happening?
It doesn't. It doesn't. This was the first video that she made about Emmanuel Macron and Brigitte Macron. This came out February 11th. She was still employed by Daily Wire. This was released under Daily Wire. It's not on her page anymore because she had to scrub it. But she also put it on X. She wasn't fired. So her entire theory gone out the window just like that. Why would she say that, though? She made this video, and I'm about to play it, before she was fired by Daily Wire. She was fired from Daily Wire almost 2 weeks later after this. So was it this emergency to get attention, to start this whole thing with Brigitte Macron because she was losing money, and she was bleeding money so fast because she had no job? Is that what this is? Is that what you see? Because she's just wrong. I just showed you where those things link. I'm going to show you something else here real quick. What she's looking at. Because she was fired, I believe, on the 22nd of February or March. Share screen. This is the type of analytics that she's looking at. And it shows that dip that she's talking about. That started in February. That dip is where she had to scrub all the Daily Wire videos, live streams off of her channel. That's why there was the dip. The increase started in May when on X she started saying, I'm going to go through and do a series on Brigitte Macron. But she still hadn't gone live yet. She didn't do anything until June. That's when she made her debut. I just showed it to you. Yeah, I think that's what it is. I think that's what it is, Henry. He said, so she wants to be Candace. Either that or she's just jealous. But this spike, this downward spike, was due to getting rid of content that was not hers. And then the upward was going back to her old channel because she wasn't on this channel before. God, I hate when this happens. So this is what she's looking at. She's interpreting it as all this time she wasn't getting any views. Well, she was getting some views because they were doing live streams and she was doing short form videos and just putting them up there to keep the page monetized, I guess. I don't know why she was doing it. I don't really care. It doesn't matter because this shows exactly what happened. All of those subscribers came over when they knew where she was going to be. Where was she going to be? I'm going back to this channel, which she was blasting on X every day. So they came here. And just like that, her subs nonstop. 380,000 a month. 180,000 this month. 208. She grew after the fact. After she came here, it was stagnant because most people who were being added to her were going to Daily Wire because that's where you're going to get her exclusive content. So she's reading something, but she's not interpreting it for what it is. She's making stuff up and saying, I believe she was just scrubbing content. She was cleaning up her channel. Okay, why? She got fired. That's why. Like, I don't know why she's doing this. I don't understand. It makes perfect sense when you look at it. What happened? So what's the point of doing this? The other channel died at the exact same time that one peaked. In March, boom, it just died. Why is it dying? For the exact reason the other one grew. Now that one's stagnant. Negative subscribers. Negative, 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 negative. Okay, because she's over here now. This channel doesn't even have a name anymore. This is that channel. It says channel name 456. This is her numbers before that channel was gone. Oh, sorry. Didn't move it over. I apologize. This is the other channel. 1 second. Sorry about that. I'm sitting there talking like you're seeing what I'm seeing. This is the other channel that had all the other Daily Wire content on it. 83 million views. These are the numbers from that channel. You see, the channel has no name. It's called channel name 456. This channel dipped at the exact time that her other channel skyrocketed because she left this one, negative, 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 and went to the other one. I mean, it seems very obvious. So why is she making something out of that? She's making it seem like, oh, she was stagnant. She wasn't doing any. So she could say that about this now too. What? This is her channel. Look, nobody's watching anymore. No, look at this. Negative numbers. Or you're just looking at the same thing I'm looking at and you're seeing it wrong. And I'm saying it's wrong because it's pretty obvious what happened. She got fired and one channel fell, the other one rose. So let's listen to this video. It's about Brigitte Macron. This was the first video. Again, it came out before she was fired by Daily Wire, not after. She's making it seem like she did this out of desperation.
Is definitively the craziest political scandal in human history, with the exception of political assassinations. There's nothing bigger, and I can't believe I'm just hearing about it. And it took me a long time to unpack it because I had to basically download information and then translate it over from French to English. So this is wild. Emmanuel Macron is the current president of France. For the last 4 years, longer than 4 years, I think he became president in 2017, journalists keep saying that they can't find a single trace of his wife, Brigitte Macron, before the age of 30. Despite the fact that Brigitte Macron has 3 children, not with Emmanuel Macron. If you remember, they're a very weird couple off the bat. She is at least 26 years older than him. Their love story is borderline pedophilic, depending on who you're listening to. He was 14 and he was a drama student, and she was his 26-year-older drama teacher, and they fell in love. So there's already, that's very weird. And then she allegedly left her husband and 3 kids to go be with Emmanuel Macron. Strange. Well, even stranger is the fact that a group of journalists teamed up with genealogists to look into this matter, and they produced these documents, and they are alleging that Emmanuel Macron's wife, Brigitte Macron, for the first 30 years of her life, actually was Jean-Michel. And basically, she was trying to pass this Jean-Michel character off as her brother, but it's clearly, I'm telling you, I looked at all the evidence, I'm going to link it, watch today's episode, I'll show you the pictures. It is very clearly her, okay? She transitioned at the age of 30 and then started living life as a woman, and they have been completely trying to bury this in the media. When I say it is so easy, if someone steps to me and is like, Candace, you're a man, you lived as a man for 30 years, there's no pictures of you from your childhood, 30 years of living, saying you had 3 kids, they could very easily debunk this. All they would have to do is show pictures.
With the Macron.
So What is this lady talking about? What is she talking about? The first video Candace put out on this channel was June. So she's saying she started it out of desperation, and this all started in March or February. It did, but that was the video right there. That was on X, and it may have been on this channel, but it would have been Daily Wire content. So it was scrubbed. But you could still find it on social media, on other social media.
Suing her and Charlie Kirk's death in the headlines. Now she's doubling down because the formula works. Grief, fear, attention equals revenue. But the minute she discovered her Brigitte Macron conspiracy, her views shot back up. So do you see this? That's a flatlined audience. And then bam, she finds a niche audience of people who are obsessed with fringe conspiracies. And overnight, she's back on top. That is not a revival. That's opportunism.
What's going on, Miss Phoenix? So again, Candace did the Brigitte Macron thing before she left Daily Wire. It had nothing to do with this channel. It has to be jealousy. I don't know what else it is. Especially how she's presenting it, like she's angry about it. She's legit mad about it. But she put out a video in June. Then she went on Piers Morgan and he asked her about it. So she played that video. So that was 2 videos. This is in June. Then she put out, I want to say her first official one. I can go to her channel and look it up, actually. Her first official video on her new channel was, there it is. Let me show you guys so you can see this. So you know I'm not just making this up. Candace Owens. It has to be jealousy, Henry. It's gotta be. So right here is the episode 1. This is the first one where she says, she's asking the question, is she a man? What's the date of this? It's going slow, sorry.
All right, guys, happy Monday. And it looks like people are listening to our private conversations again. You know,
June 17th, this premiered. June 17th. Not March, not May, how she's making it seem. She's saying, well, May, April, look, she's skyrocketing. This video was June 17th. The other video was in March, early March, before she left the Daily Wire. I'm even going to show you where she got into it with Piers Morgan over that topic because she brought it up. So this was her premiere, episode 1. 6 episodes later is where she did the Emmanuel Macron. Right here, Piers Morgan asked her, "Hey, why'd you push that Brigitte Macron thing?" That was this one. Again, early June, not March. Man, this is going slow. June 13th, mid-June, not March. So what this lady's saying is just wrong. And I don't, this didn't take me long to find and look at. She didn't match up the timelines at all, but she's saying that it matches up. It doesn't at all.
I get it. Listen, I told you I make content. Every good content creator is going to look at their numbers and see what is it that people want to see. Well, then we should give them more of that. And when Candace was with the Daily Wire, her views were dropping faster than Kamala's poll numbers. But the minute she started attacking Brigitte Macron and spinning conspiracies, boom. You don't have to be Sherlock Holmes to see the motive here. This is not some sort of revelatory information. It's just revenue. Her analytics tell the story. Have another one. This is monthly gained subscribers for Candace Owens. 2024 at the bottom, April. What happens in July on forward?
What happens from June on forward is she went to this channel. What's going on, Uncle L? She's trying to justify it in her head. And she's going backwards. She's going back to all the stuff I said. How do I justify it? And this is what she's coming up with. Candace came back to this channel as her primary social media. That's where everyone went back to that channel and subscribed.
This is monthly subscribers. I'm not making this up. I didn't even make this chart. Anybody can go and look for this information. The analytics tell the story. Flatline, controversy, explosion, lawsuit, and now we got a new cash cow, Charlie Kirk's death. When the money gets tight, the content gets crazy.
Sick.
This is not journalism. This is opportunism dressed up as discernment, and it leads nowhere. Nowhere. I'm not done.
Not done.
I'm showing a max view of gained video views from another source.
Ooh.
They're all reporting the same thing. April 2024, flatline. Are we paying attention?
I'm paying attention. Are you paying attention? I just showed why that happened. Just went to her channel. You could see exactly what happened. Do I need to do it again? I don't think I need to do it again. The video before her debut back on the channel was a Daily Wire video. She was still pushing it. She was still pushing the other channel for her podcast. One more time, because this is crazy. And it's so cringe watching somebody just make up stuff. It really is. This video right here. See, can you see my yeah, this video right here was the last one that links the Daily Wire. This was in February, right when she got fired. The end of February. She was still saying, for new videos, go to my Candace Show. Candace Show was the other channel. She's literally still referencing Daily Wire here. Like, I don't understand. The video is unavailable. You know why? It's been removed by her.
Really just trying to have one child and how emotional that journey can be.
So when you go to those hyperlinks, it tells the story for you. You don't need to speculate, lady. Why are you doing it? Watch every episode of my full show at Daily Wire. That's what they were getting the numbers. They were getting her numbers. Candace Show right here goes to nothing. It goes to a dead channel. That's the one I showed you. Channel doesn't have any content. I mean, all she had to do was click on a link.
Really just
Instead of clicking on a link, she wants to create narratives. Why? What is in this for her? Why would she do this? She's going to say something also, and remember this, Blackout. That was her book. And she's going to reference something later on. I'm going to bring this back up. Just remember this. Because what she's doing, I don't know if it's dishonest or if she's just that ignorant. But either way, why? Well, that's the real question is why? Why are you doing this? Exactly, Phoenix. Exactly. She was doing more content. She was literally linking from here, from YouTube, to the other content. That's it. She was doing shorts on YouTube and premieres of Daily Wire content. When she left the Wire, they kept their old page. Yep, that's it. How can we see this though? This little YouTube channel, little bit of YouTube channel with a small chat, and we see right through this. But she's acting as if it. The problem is she's got 150,000 subs, so she knows what those analytics say. She has to.
And I mean, now that she's run her mouth, the Macrons have sued this woman, and as of late, the Macrons have amended their lawsuit just a couple of days ago. You guys, legal defense is expensive, and I'm not saying Candace is broke. Candace has plenty of money, but we have no idea how much it is going to cost for her to defend herself vigorously. And if she loses, she will need liquidity. She will need cash. Desperate times call for desperate measures, and I believe what she is doing is monetizing as much as she can, and Charlie Kirk's death is no exception. More videos, more conspiracies, more cliffhangers, more memberships, super chats, merch. Listen, I get it. I do this. That's all I do for a living, so I understand it. But these are her analytics. What do you notice? The views were tanking, she was flatlining, and then suddenly, boom, Brigitte Macron investigation, and the views shot back up. And there is a niche for these fringe conspiracies.
Here's the irony of all this. Because that's what she's doing. Like, she's literally doing what she's saying Candace Owens is doing. So let's go here. Shall we? Shall we? It's so weird. I agree with you, Henry. Let's see if her channel tells the same story. This is at Miss April's channel. We'll just, you know what? We'll just do this. We can go. I'm going to scroll back just a couple. I'm just going to roll it up a few times. Let's make it a little bit bigger. All right. This is going back 8 months. And listen, I am in no position to criticize her views because I don't get these views. I get 100 and I'm happy. 200, I'm like, oh yeah, it's on. So, but in contrast to what she's talking about Candace Owens doing, right here, 3,200, 76, 7.6, 1.8, 8,000, 30,000. That's a good one right there. That's MLK video. 7, 4.8, 10,000, 24,000, 7.6, 46,000. Great video. 13,000, 12,000, almost 9, 20, 12, 9, almost 3, 17, 16. These are really good numbers by any standards, right? Keep going. Let's see. 8, 5, 5, 5, 14, 10,000, 6.3, 5.8, 10,000, 9.9, almost, let's say 6 to 7,000, 5,000, 5,000, 7.8, 10,000. And what happens when Charlie Kirk passes away? 10,000, 8,000, boom, 51,000. 51,000. And you got to see my face here for this. I'm not critiquing this. This is just what it is. 51,000 when Charlie Kirk passed. Now, when she talked about how she felt about it, what she took away, back down to 5.6. Right? Then this man passed, so she got 37,000, huge. But back down when she talks about something else, 12,000. Again, these are great numbers. I would take all of these numbers. I'm not complaining about it. I'm not mocking it. But when she talked about Candace Owens, 74,000. It's one of, if not her biggest live stream she's ever done. So what does she do? She comes right back, 40,000. So while she's sitting here critiquing Candace Owens, if you go by popular, the top 2 videos, let's see what else. So 3 out of her top 5 videos are Candace Owens and Charlie Kirk. I'm not knocking what she's saying. I'm just saying, hey, lady, what you're saying, what you're describing, you're doing. You're doing this. Whether you know it or not, I find it hard to believe that you don't know that your biggest video ever was Charlie Kirk. Was Candace Owens, the last one you did that I talked about. I find it really, really interesting that you didn't know what you're saying she's doing, you're doing. 74,000, that's pretty big. That's massive. It's your #1 live stream ever. So you came back the next live and did the same thing. So stop saying, oh, she's doing this. You're almost telling on yourself. Well, I would say you are, but I'm being generous. She's had massive videos. She has to, Henry. She had to look at hers. She's had massive videos, regular videos, not live stream videos. Huge. I mean, hundreds of thousands. But when it comes to live streams where you can get super chats and all the stuff she was talking about, it's about Candace Owens. That's all it's about. And Charlie Kirk. So I find it ironic that she's over here criticizing somebody for getting views, for talking about their actual friend. And she's actually trying to get to the bottom of stuff. But this lady doesn't know because she doesn't watch. She admitted she doesn't watch. I played her saying
And I believe
she
she's
doesn't
cashing
watch.
in. Let me be clear. I don't like pocket watchers. Pocket watchers are people who's watching other people's pockets. I don't like pocket watchers because I believe usually a person that's obsessed with how much somebody else is making is because they wish they were making what that person is making. For me, I prefer to keep my own head down and keep my head in the game and just get to work. Why? I ain't got time to worry about what somebody else is doing. It takes your head and your mind off of the focus of where it needs to be. But in this case, how the heck are we supposed to ignore how his alleged best friend is making hand over fist, not based on facts? If it was based on facts and truth, I'd be like, go ahead, keep the party going, sis. Expose it all. But it's based on rabbit trails. Whatever new rabbit trail she can take you on today, that's what it's about. And do you ever know?
I showed so many lies that she's told, or untruths. Because I don't want to call her a liar. What's going on, NC Lady B1? She's just wrong about so many things. So if it's about truth, go ahead, do what you got to do. Okay. Then are you going to correct all those lies that I pointed out in the last live? I know she's not watching me. I'm just saying, in general, somebody else has to be showing her how wrong she is. And on this live, I'm going to show more. I've already showed her being wrong, but I'm going to show more. And it's not me who has to show it. It's Candace Owens and her words and her receipts. But this lady's just speculating. The rabbit trail she's talking about, she's the one doing it. She's doing it right here.
That the rabbit trail that you're on today, the next day, it's like, wait a minute, I thought we was here, and now what? Wait, we need to go back. And you're so dialed in, and you're so tuned in that you have been manipulated, not even to remember, well, what was yesterday's rabbit trail? And whatever happened with that? Nothing ever happens with that. That is the...
Candace Owens could not be more thorough. She's coming up with a minute-by-minute timeline of everything that happened that day. You can't get more thorough than that. This lady doesn't know what she's talking about. So she comes up with this timeline, but then she asks questions. Those have to be answered by the people she's asking the questions to, which would be the government. Hey, why did you guys not interview any students? All of the interviews that were put on TV that we know about were of non-students. That's a fair question to ask it when you're at a school and there were thousands of students around this tent, and you only ask people who did not go to the school questions. There's nothing wrong with asking that question. Nothing. But because you didn't get the answer, you're just saying it's a rabbit trail and she's being deceptive. I don't know how, because she's still... The reason Candace Owens is able to ask the questions that she's asking is because she's getting minute by minute what's supposed to be happening. And that's according to the police and according to the FBI and according to all the reports. So she has everything. And she say, hey, why is this? Where is this? She's asking for stuff. But it's based on knowledge of what supposedly happened that day. There's nothing wrong with doing that. And if I ever pass, I would want somebody to do this, to figure out, hey, if it really happened this way, cool. She's even said that. She just doesn't believe it happened that way.
Backdrop. She wasn't in the demand like she was before, so she started making wild and crazy claims. That is my opinion. And it is based on the analytics, and I don't know what else to conclude.
She doesn't know what else to conclude. So I looked up Candace Owens and her numbers and what her following looked like. So it says large social media following. She maintained a massive following across social media sites, including YouTube, Instagram, and X. In February 2024, she was suspended from YouTube for making anti-alphabet comments, which highlights her substantial, though sometimes controversial, online platform. Podcast ratings. After her departure from the Daily Wire in March, she launched her independent podcast, which is on the channel that I was just showing you guys. In June, it debuted in the top 50, number 45. This strong entry demonstrated that her loyal audience followed her. Her ratings were not dying. They were never dying. What she's saying makes absolutely no sense. Daily Wire's ratings died because she left there, which means people followed her. On top of being shadow banned. On top of, she wasn't monetized until June. What's going on, Mel Dub? So what she's saying is just wrong. She didn't fall off. I don't know what this lady's talking about. Do you know how, like, they showed the Daily Wire just completely tank when they fired her? That's because of her popularity. That's it.
If I'm wrong, I don't listen. I have to live my life before my children. And the worst thing I can do is get on here, make the assertion that I'm making, and then if I'm proven wrong, not lead by example and show my children, Mommy got to get on that. I got to get on camera. I got to apologize because I was wrong. It's 2 left shoes. I would have to do that. Trust me, I get it. I make content. And I have to guard my heart and check my own motives all the time. We all do. Unless you guys are on this side of the camera, you have no idea the pressure. You have no idea how hard it is to carve out an audience, to create meaningful and transformative content that people actually want to watch, and then balance all of that with integrity. It is not easy. You know how many videos people ask me to do? How much privileged information people send me? Be like, can you go on your platform? I can't say that. No. I always have to say no. I can't cover everything. And it is truly a work of the Holy Spirit to do it and to do it well. But the timing lines up too perfect in this situation. I'm sorry. It
doesn't. Yeah. It doesn't work for her. It's so transparent. I know how hard it is. And you're lucky I'm not a big YouTuber, because you would have to answer these questions yourself instead of trying to project onto somebody else. There's a bitterness, there's a nastiness, and I don't know where it's from, but you need to pray. You need to pray on that and find out where this envy or jealousy or whatever this hostility is towards this other woman who's not doing anything wrong, in my opinion. And if Charlie Kirk's wife doesn't say she's doing anything wrong, who are you? Because she's already said openly, there are 2 people on this planet that can stop me from doing what I'm doing. That would be Erica or her husband. That's it. It's pretty simple. What's going on, Thetius?
Tanking analytics, new salacious claims, lawsuit incoming, and now suddenly she needs cash to fund a very expensive legal defense. And how she's raising it by milking Charlie's death for clicks, super chats, and subscriptions.
You guys heard her earlier say she doesn't pocket watch, right? That's all she's doing.
It's my opinion. That's what I believe. Money makes people do strange things. Desperation makes people do strange things. And then when you add the narcissism on top of it, a narcissist will do anything to stay relevant. They don't care. I've followed and been deceived by a narcissist before. I've been the object of narcissistic attacks. I know the patterns. I know it well. A narcissist will build a cult following by mixing just enough truth into a whole web of lies and got everybody over there just running. And they just all looking crazy. The stuff they come up with, you'll be like, y'all need help.
Like what you're doing right now? Just making up stuff? Nothing substantiated? Asking random questions, rabbit hole? Making videos about this person because they got you the most views you've ever gotten on a live stream, super chats, merch, all that stuff you were talking about earlier. This is all projection. And she went right back to whoever hurt her. I know what it's like to deal with a narcissist. I bet you do. You keep talking about it. You've done it for 2 straight lives now.
You will wear yourself out trying to make sense of it all and to keep up with all their lies because it's a deceptive web of just wrongiousness that they're weaving. I believe this woman she's deliberately ending every show on a cliffhanger, but then the next day, she never actually picks up on the outrageous thing that she said before. She has yet to address the Bibi Netanyahu letter that she confidently said was misrepresented. Her whole audience, her own audience is now holding her accountable by asking for clarification or retraction. It's almost like it never happened. I've even seen Brandon Tatum. God bless him. Now, that's his girl. That's his friend. And he's being a real good friend to her because he made a video and he didn't use her name, but he's like, all right, the letter is out. Let's look at the letter. And this letter, in comparison to the claims that was made, somebody's lying.
Candace Owens said she does not believe Bibi Netanyahu and anything that he says. She asked him to release the letter because she didn't believe what he was saying. They released the letter and it was in between what she said and what Netanyahu said. But she didn't have to address it, and you're about to see why.
That's what he said. Somebody's lying. Go look at the video for yourself. I think it's either on the thumbnail or the title of the video. He like, somebody's lying. He's like, so you going to do the right thing and come back and correct the record? Or are you going to do a retraction?
No need to. And she made him look goofy too. Because you guys got to stop jumping out the window. This lady has never not given receipts. She set you all up. Everyone who's doing this, she set them all up. And she even called out TPUSA. Tell me I'm lying. She said, I want you to do an official statement saying I'm lying. If that ain't a setup, and if that didn't make you course correct, I don't know what will. Because I would have been like, whoa. She seems awfully confident. Because she is. And you're about to see why she is. Her claim has been that Charlie Kirk was under pressure and he was pulling away from this from the amount of support that he was giving Israel. He said he still loved Israel, but what he was seeing he did not like. That's it. That's what he was saying. And everyone went crazy. She also said that he was leaning towards Catholicism, which was interesting. Very interesting. People went crazy over that. You're about to see what Candace Owens not only knew, but had proof of.
Have we seen it? Has she talked about that letter at all? No, they never do. She did the same thing with this claim that Turning Point was about to bring her back on staff, which girl, where my flag
This
on?
is more jealousy.
Flag on the plate. That is an absolute false claim. She is delusional if she thinks that. She's delusional. Just like she thinks she's delusional. That was not happening.
Why is she so angry? Why is she so bitter sounding?
In my opinion, that's a delusion along the same lines of her being Charlie's best friend as of late is a delusion. Early years, no one discounts that. But you as his best friend, how you best friends? You don't even follow your friend, your bestie don't follow you on no social media platform. Not X, Instagram.
I asked you guys to remember. Let me see if I have it still, if I still have it up. Her book, Blackout. When she came out with that book, she blacked out on social media and unfollowed everyone and asked her close friends to unfollow her. So that's why he didn't follow her and why she didn't follow anybody. She used to follow a lot of people, unfollowed everyone, and then asked all of her personal friends or her close friends to unfollow her. It was her version of that black square that people were doing during BLM. That's why. But remember what she just said, because it's about to come back and bite her.
Charlie was going to bring you back. He didn't even follow you on no social media. Really? That's the story. That's what we're doing.
So Charlie writes in this group chat, just lost another huge Jewish donor, $2 million a year because we won't cancel Tucker. I'm thinking of inviting Candace. Somebody writes, oh.
This was 2 days before he passed away. This was in a group chat. And the TPUSA people, at least one of them, who was in this group chat said, yeah, that's true. I'm thinking on bringing back Candace. So all of this that she's doing, she's making herself look crazy because she's speaking on something she clearly doesn't know.
Delusion along the same lines of her being Charlie's best friend as of late is a delusion. Early years.
That's a correction that she made. So last time she said she was not his best friend. Candace Owens didn't say as of late he was my best friend. She just said he was my best friend. She didn't put a time frame on it. Now she's correcting it because somebody said, you probably shouldn't say that. Because there's video of Charlie saying the same thing before he got married. So of course, you now have a wife. You're not going to still keep referring to somebody else as your best friend. But Candace just said he was my best friend. She didn't give a time frame. This lady gave a time frame. Now all of a sudden she's pulling back a little bit. She's adjusted what she's saying. As of late. Why'd you add that? Candace Owens didn't say as of late he was my best friend. She just said he was my best friend.
Delusion along the same lines of her being Charlie's best friend as of late is a delusion. Early years, no one discounts that. But you as your best friend, how you best friends? You don't even follow your friend, your bestie don't follow you on no social media platform. Not X, Instagram. Charlie was going to bring you back. He didn't even follow you on no social media. Really? That's the story. That's what we're doing.
So Charlie writes in this group chat, just lost another huge Jewish donor.
You guys got to see this because it's hilarious. It literally says it what she's reading.
$2 million a year because we won't cancel Tucker. I'm thinking of inviting Candace. Somebody writes, oh. Charlie writes, Jewish donors play into all of the stereotypes. I cannot and will not be bullied like this, leaving me no choice but to leave the pro-Israel cause.
Oh.
And somebody writes, a donor writes, please do not invite Candace. That might feel good short term, but it's not good long term. In my opinion, like all groups, you're going to get a wide variety of opinions. That nasty free will thing that God bestowed on us makes life frustrating at times after the dust settles a bit, maybe. So again, this is 48 hours before Charlie was assassinated. He was very clear and he was very explicit and he did not back down.
Here's the scary.
So she just dispelled everything that she was saying. The whole pro-Israel thing. I may have to back away from the pro-Israel cause. Charlie Kirk said that in that text thread. And it's been validated now. Brandon Tatum admitted it's been validated. You know what Brandon Tatum did? Instead of saying, you know what? Probably should have did that video about that letter and jumped out the window on my whatever the Zionist kick he's got going on. Instead of jumping out the window and assuming my friend was lying or asking if my friend was lying, he went full steam ahead, cheerleading for Bibi Netanyahu. Somebody's lying. Are you going to retract what you said? Wink, wink, Candace. She ignored it. And now she just showed an actual text from him saying, I may have to back away from this pro-Israel cause. His own words. So why did she have to respond to the letter? Doesn't mean anything. She asked him to release it. He released it. You can take it, whatever you want from that letter, throw it away, because his own text message said, right here, his own text message said, oh, you can't see my cursor, leaving me no choice but to leave the pro-Israel cause. 3:34 p.m. CK Charlie Kirk, 2 days before he got unalived.
Feel good short term, but it's not good long term. In my opinion, like all groups, you're going to get a wide variety of opinions. That nasty free will thing that God bestowed on us makes life frustrating at times after the dust settles a bit, maybe. So again, this is 48 hours before Charlie was assassinated. He was very clear and he was very explicit and he did not back down.
Here's the scary part, though. Her followers never ask any basic questions. Nobody says, Candace, well, what evidence do you have that Charlie was praying the rosary? Like, where do you get a claim like that from? Or is anyone asked Candace, how do you know that TPUSA was going to bring you back? On what basis are you making that assertion? Let me be clear.
Charlie Kirk said it. Any more questions? Very, 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 very weird. Had a little power surge. It blinked, and next thing I know, everything had to reset. Internet, all the windows, had to redo the lights, disconnect the camera, put the camera back on. Can you guys hear me? That was crazy. Let me pull this back up. I gotta find her again. Sorry about that. That was crazy. The power just blinked real quick, and that was enough to turn everything off. Thank you, Mel. What's up, Lester? Let's see. Let me pull this back up and go back to where I was. I gotta fast forward now.
I want to do one thing that I've not seen.
All right, let's see. Where were we? Played that. That's wild. All right, so I was right about here. Sorry about that. Can you guys hear me? Am I on now? Looks like I am. Feels like I am. Sounds like I am. But am I? Hello, 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 hello. I don't see the chat doing anything. All right, cool. That went through. That was wild. All right, cool. Sorry. All right, cool. Very, 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 very strange. Thank you for your patience. Let me try to get a little bit past this. Anyway, I don't even remember what I was saying. I think I was saying that she jumped out the window the same way Brandon Tatum did, and they don't understand. Just because she didn't respond to that doesn't mean this doesn't blow every one of their little theories out the window. And that's what we're looking at now.
On what basis are you making that assertion? Let me be clear. Charlie was not on the verge of converting to Roman Catholicism. No.
Really?
Charlie affirmed salvation by grace alone, through faith alone, in Christ alone, for the glory of God alone, all affirmed by scripture alone. Let's make that clear.
All right. So I don't know if you guys know the difference between, do you guys know the difference between Catholicism and Protestants? Do I have to go over that? I don't know if I need to go over that. But Candace, again, is going to prove this wrong with receipts. Catholics believe in structure. In Matthew 16, Jesus told, or he essentially assigned Peter to being in the Pope role. He called him his rock and said that upon this rock, I think he said, upon this rock, I will build my church. And then he offered him the keys to the kingdom of heaven, something along those lines. And since then, Catholics have been assigning popes to do exactly that. It's biblical, it's scriptural. You don't have to agree with it, but to dismiss it the way she is and make it sound like it's, I don't know what she's making it sound like. You can make a scriptural argument for either position. And when they assign a pope, they see it as the same thing. This is a successor of Peter, who was, again, the first pope. They never stopped doing that. So there's a tradition there, right? Again, you don't have to believe this, but this is what they believe. And it's backed up by Matthew 16 and 18, maybe. I don't know what it was. Protestants reject that. They don't believe that, which is fine. Again, I'm not here to make a case for either one. If you're part of a Baptist church or Pentecostal or whatever non-denomination church, you'll notice that you can see a bishop, a pastor, a minister, a reverend. Then you'll have elders, and you have all these positions all within one church. You don't see that in the Catholic Church because they have a different type of hierarchy. That would be the non-denomination churches or the Protestant churches trying to make a structure similar to the structure that they reject, which is interesting to me. I don't know. I grew up in the Catholic Church. I'm not Catholic, but I don't dismiss any of that stuff. Those traditions are too old and too strong, and I think it would be a mistake for anybody to dismiss that stuff. If you have a title in Catholicism, it came from a structure. It came from a certain level of passing different seminary, stuff like that. To become a pastor, a lot of them do, but they don't have to have that in a non-denominational church. And the only real issue I see with that lack of structure is an accountability struggle, but the Catholic Church clearly has the same, even with a Pope figure, because they had one of the biggest scandals in history, and that almost destroyed the whole church. So again, I'm not making an argument for either. I'm just trying to tell you the differences. I don't know why this is not the first time she's gone on this rant, and she makes it sound absurd that Charlie would ever even consider going towards the Catholic Church. Oh, nobody does that. Now, it's true, more people do go away from the Catholic Church, but I think a lot of that had to do with that big controversy of the PDF stuff. And what she's doing is making it sound crazy and like conspiracy that Charlie would think about doing this. Well, he said that he likes the structure, he likes the tradition, and he did not like worshiping in a gym. He said that. You'll hear that in a little bit. But Catholics believe in the scriptures. They believe in the traditions and the hierarchy and the authority. Protestants don't believe in that. They just believe scriptures alone. But both can be backed up in the Bible, both. So it's not, neither should be dismissed. I'm just going to keep saying that. The other really big thing, big difference, because there's a lot of differences. The biggest one for Protestants is salvation. Catholics believe in faith, deeds, and the 7 sacraments. Protestants don't. They don't believe that. They believe salvation is the gift of grace, and that the deeds come as a result of salvation. I think I said that right. I believe I said that right. But they don't believe that the gift is required for salvation. I think those are the main differences. I'm going to leave it at that. But what she's saying is it's absurd that anyone would say that Charlie would do that. Well, once again, receipts are about to be shown.
Here's the kind of thing that Candace does. Like, I could drive past a Catholic church and remark, wow, what a beautiful building that is. Oh, that's just beautiful. I love pretty buildings. Candace gonna spin that into, April Chapman. She's converted to Catholicism. She was just at confession yesterday. How you get that from that? Just because I drive by a beautiful Catholic church and I say, oh, wow, that's a beautiful church. According to Candace, that means, April's going to confession. And she had just met with a priest, to discuss confirmation. Listen, y'all, once a narcissist builds a loyal following, truth don't matter no more. Evidence doesn't matter. The cult dynamic has kicked in. That is how the grift works. You take a detail, inflate it, turn it into a narrative, feed it to an audience who's too loyal and too undiscerning to question it anyway. And the result
sounds like you right now. Just saying.
Results are clear.
Charlie was going through some spiritual changes towards the end. Catholics were hoping that he'd take the next step because he was praying the rosary. I never said he converted because he didn't. That would have been dishonest. But people were somehow really angry. Somebody clearly hit the panic button. Suddenly a bunch of videos were being made disputing the narrative. People were going, I knew Charlie and he was truly evangelical to his core. Blah, 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 blah. And I want to tell you this, it felt coordinated. It felt fake. It felt unnecessary. But most importantly, it was untrue. Okay, it wasn't true. And I'm going to share with you some more truth so that you can contextualize it. Charlie was attending Mass weekly. He was sometimes even attending Mass daily. Yes, he was praying the rosary. Charlie, in fact, was wearing the St. Michael pendant when he died, okay? As has already been publicized, Erica took a Catholic bishop with her to pray over his body on the day that he died. These are all...
It's interesting because Protestants don't really revere the saints the same way Catholics do. Even with Mother Mary, they don't revere those people the same way Catholics do. So the fact that he was wearing, I think she said the St. Michael chain says something. You don't have to agree with it. It just says something. But listen to what she's saying.
Indisputable facts. And it is also a fact, which was presented by Megyn Kelly, that a few weeks before his death, Erica had a priest come over to pray over them when some witches thought it would be funny, whatever, to put a hex on him. Okay.
I think it's interesting that his wife had a bishop, Catholic bishop, come pray over her husband after he passed, and not his pastor. I think it's interesting that she had a Catholic priest come for this incident that she starts talking about with the witches and the spell that they supposedly had put over him. I think it says something.
That's a lot of things that were happening behind the scenes. And the people at Turning Point USA knew those things to be true. Okay. They knew everything that I just shared with you. They knew for a fact.
Was he becoming Catholic?
No. But
No.
He really loved Catholic Mass. He loved the ritual of it. He loved the beauty of old Catholic churches and the stained glass.
And him and Erica would go sometimes.
Yeah, well, Erica's a cradle Catholic, but she ended up kind of like me.
She's posted a photo of her and Charlie and the kids in Mass before, and somebody in the comment section said, oh, are you guys converting? And she said, no, we just like attending sometimes. So she herself had said no.
Yeah,
publicly.
and I think Charlie, one of the things, Charlie really hated worshiping in like a gym, or some sort of kind of blank space that you just turn into church. There's no problem. He didn't have a problem with the act of that. He just didn't prefer it. And he loved, again, the ritual, the ancient, feel of a Catholic Mass, and the fact that everybody around the world that was worshiping as Catholic, he loved that. So he had some really big theological hangups with that. You can go check the video.
It was back in February of this year when, out of nowhere, he's the one that actually messaged me and said, and said Catholicism is sounding better and better in February of 2024. This is kind of when we started having.
So we should chat soon. Catholicism is looking better and better. So why mock Candace Owens for saying, she didn't say he was converting, she just said he was having some differences of opinions. He was going to Mass. He was wearing that chain. That's who they called. They called a Catholic priest when they were dealing with the hex that was put on him. That was a few weeks before he went to Utah. So why is April Chapman? I know he didn't do this, and I know he didn't, and he would never do this. It's like, and this is the second live stream that she's gone on this tangent. Why? Why is it so crazy? But here's a text, another one, dispelling her talking points. She doesn't know him. She clearly didn't know him. She wasn't close enough, but she speaks as if she was really close with him, and she had all this insider knowledge, and everything she has said has been wrong.
Having that discussion, we should chat soon. Catholicism is looking better and better. Okay. I then offered back to him a chart just showing how the phrase Judeo-Christianity kind of is really associated with the dawn of the nation of Israel, right? And we did chat about it. We talked about it a lot, and I was thrilled, like I said, and I was being honest that he was sending mass. Okay.
Candace has released video after video, not to mourn, but in my opinion, to monetize. I know they both start with an M, but they're not the same. Instead of supporting justice for Charlie, we're getting the waters muddied. All of these open-ended investigations, all of these cryptic sources that never resolve. It's just a steady drip of innuendo and insinuation designed to keep people on the hook. And like I said, they got to stay on the payroll. I have noticed a pattern. You get very cryptic communication. She'll say, I've been told something big, but she won't name a name and she won't provide the evidence. She just says it. Then you get...
I just showed you things that she was saying 2 weeks ago. Everyone called her a liar. Now she's releasing text messages from Charlie Kirk, not a secondary source, not hearsay, literal receipts. Like, she's looking crazy right now. Crazy. Why? That's my question. Why are you doing this? What are you getting out of this? I mean, we saw you're getting views, obviously, but what else are you getting out of acting this way?
Insinuation over accusation. She'll use they and them. We don't know who these they and them are. So like in your mind, you fill in the blanks. They and them is whoever you think you need they and them to be. So she's already now raised enough doubt. So who cares about the details? It's something we really got to consider that. That seem like, if you squint real hard, it's always they and them.
She did this for people like you, and she made you look like a complete fool when she put those 2 text messages out. And she said she might put some more out to dispel other lies. But people like you going crazy over here, you look crazy. You look crazy. It did. It doesn't work anymore, man. It doesn't work anymore. But she's looking crazy now. Now that it's irrefutable proof that what Candace was saying, what are you going to do? Are you going to do what you said you were going to do and come out and apologize? I'm really curious to see what she decides to retract, or if she just ignores it because she doesn't watch anyway. She has no idea that she's been made to look this way.
What about these moving goalposts? I'll reveal it Monday, but then Monday comes and we get even more fog. Like, we're just like, I can't
not
see.
what happened.
Like, it's just, you can't see. Not to mention, there's a whole lot of undermining of due process. I don't know who this chick thinks she is, but where does she get off demanding that the police and the FBI release all the evidence mid-investigation? Who does that? You risk a mistrial, first of all, and it's jeopardizing actual justice, but this your best friend that you care about. She has gone mad. I'm sorry.
She's just giving talking points that she's heard other people say. They were conducting a literal manhunt, and she was asking for them to release the video, not the stills of him going up the stairs. That doesn't compromise an investigation. It was a manhunt. She wanted clearer photos of the guy who they were saying did it. She wanted clearer photos of the area on the roof. She wanted to know how he got there. I've asked that question. How did he know the route to get to the school, and then how to get up on the roof, and then where to get positioned to get a good shot? How did he know that he was going to be in the right spot? Was he just walking around on the roof that whole day? And then after he shot, how did he know where to go back to jump down and get back to and go through a neighborhood he's never been to? Because he didn't go to the school. He didn't even live in the area. He was like 3-4 hours away. How did he know all this? This is the question she's asking. They're not unreasonable, and they don't compromise an investigation. She's asking nothing but logical questions. And there was a guy who put out a video saying that the bullet had to have come from behind. and he showed why. I don't know if I linked that video. I probably should have linked that video. Fascinating video, because he shows everything, slow motion, and made a really strong case. You know what Candace Owens did? She went over that video and showed something that the guy got wrong. Why would she do that if she's just trying to get attention? She's trying to get correct information to find out what happened. You seem to not want it. How you doing, Miss Eve? You seem to not want any information. You just want shut up. Which is going to have people looking at you like, are you getting paid?
Who does that? Why do we owe you all of the demanding answers to the questions that you seek in the middle of an investigation? Is anyone going to ask that? Like, well, that would kind of jeopardize the investigation. If the prosecutors have to bring this to trial and they don't want an acquittal, they want a guilty verdict. They need all the evidence they can get. Y'all keep forgetting this boy got to go to trial. Like, they just don't get to be like, hey, off with you, and you ain't going to hear from him again. There's got to be a trial.
So you don't want any information. That's what she's saying. I haven't seen anyone who was close to this man who does not want more information.
He's got to be judged by a jury of his peers. Evidence. We have to see some evidence. I get the distrust. I understand it. But to tell the audience that everybody's corrupt and then monetize their outrage with memberships and super chats and all this exclusive content is a bit much, in my opinion.
She's not pocket watching, though.
Y'all, none of this is courageous. Saying that, well, we need to protect Candace as if she's speaking the truth. No, she's not speaking truth. This is a content strategy. It is textbook psychological manipulation with a side of monetization. They're now trying to build a case to ensure justice. That is the reality. Everything else is just clickbait designed to keep to make you feel like you're getting some sort of insider truth from a woman who wishes she was Mrs. Erica Kirk. She wishes she was named as the point woman in charge to lead TPUSA. That's how I feel. I told y'all that in my live stream the other day. She sounds like a jilted lover that is hell-bent on.
You sound like a jilted lover. You sound crazy right now. I don't know where this is all coming from, but something's off. I wish you would just say what the real issue is.
Destroying what Charlie built because she's no longer a part of it. I am a believer. I name Charlie based on his public profession and the way he lived his life and ran his race to the end. That is my brother in Christ. So as a believer, when I see foolishness out here like this, I got to mark those who cause division. I got to mark you. So I have a question, though, for the audience. Name a claim that she has made that's been resolved. I'll wait.
I just showed the text messages that debunk almost everything that she's claimed. Just 2 text messages. That's all she needed.
Name a claim that's been resolved that we can move on in the affirmative and say, okay, now we've settled that. Let's move on to the next one. She got it. She got the bob and weave. You can't catch her. You're like, oh, where we at? You'll never know where to find her next. Oh, can we just go back to the letter? I ain't even saying go back to the beginning. Can we go back to the letter? Her own friend asked, without naming her name, are you going to retract this?
No, because she proved what she was saying was 100% true based on Charlie Kirk's own words.
I know. Why does this matter? Some of you may be asking, April, well, why not just ignore her? Y'all right. Listen, to be honest, when you are dealing with a narcissist, you really should ignore them. You shouldn't give them any attention. But 2 things can be true at the same time. If too many of us are silent, deception spreads. It's like gangrene. I was Googling today. There are news outlets in India reporting what she's reporting because they're trying to keep up. Just articles. They're just like, here's the next conspiracy. We're just trying to keep up. Everybody trying to keep up. Can't nobody catch her.
This is jealousy. This is jealousy. I don't know what else to call this.
Narcissists, listen, they don't just ruin their own platform. They weaken the whole movement. And they do it by planting mistrust in leaders. They sow suspicion among believers. You got believers dividing over this. And then they profit from the chaos. And so I'm like, somebody's got to speak out. I do believe, whether intentional or not, that Candace is functioning like controlled opposition. Now, I have no evidence of that, but I don't know what else to make of this. This is when it hit me that she might be doing that. When the Macrons spoke to President Trump and was like, can you get the little Project Ponytail chick to shut her mouth? I really don't appreciate what she's saying about me. And Trump sends her, I can't remember if he called her or sent her a text message. She turned it into content.
You want to know who Trump got to call Candace Owens? I pray she sees this. Charlie Kirk. Trump called Charlie Kirk, who you say wasn't a friend of hers, and Charlie Kirk called her and asked her, what can we do to get you to stop talking about Brigitte Macron until this negotiation is over? I bet you didn't know that. I know that, so you should know that because you claim to have been such a good friend of Charlie Kirk's. He called Candace Owens to do what you're just saying. But you don't remember if he texted or what happened, right? How do I know that you don't know that?
So they're just like, we don't, here's the next conspiracy. We're just trying to keep up. Everybody trying to keep up. Can't nobody catch them. Narcissists, listen, they don't just ruin their own platform. They weaken the whole movement. And they do it by planting mistrust in leaders. They sow suspicion among believers. You got believers dividing over this. And then they profit from the chaos. And so I'm like, somebody's got to speak out. I do believe, whether intentional or not, that Candace is functioning like controlled opposition. Now, I have no evidence of that, but I don't know what else to make of this. This is when it hit me that she might be doing that. When the Macrons spoke to President Trump and was like, can you get the little Project Ponytail chick to shut her mouth? I really don't appreciate what she's saying about me. And Trump sends her, I can't remember if he called her or sent her a text message.
He called Charlie. And Charlie called her directly. While you're whining and screaming and whatever this is, the guy you say you knew, you didn't know he's the one who called her. And instead of asking, wait a minute, why would a president of an entire country call another president to get a citizen to shut up? Instead of asking that question, you're mad that she didn't shut up. You're mad that she didn't shut up. What's going on, TV2? Do you know how insane you are to take the position? She's taking the side of the French president and his husband over an American citizen who's exercising their freedom of speech. They tried to shut that down. And she said, well, why didn't you just stop? That's her mindset.
She turned it into content. Who does that?
She didn't turn it into content. You know what she did? She backed off of Brigitte Macron for months. And got back to it the following year in January or February. She stopped talking about it. She honored Trump's request through Charlie Kirk, the very man that you're saying was a good friend of yours, but you didn't know that. Otherwise, you would have said that. So what are you doing here, lady? What is your problem? You hate Candace Owens so much that you're willing to take Brigitte Macron's side? Candace Owens honored it. She said, I will. So Trump asked her to stop. She said, no, but for the sake of this investigation, I will put my series on hold, because she was going to do the Becoming Brigitte series. But that series didn't start until the year after, in February. I think it's February, maybe January of this year, 2025. So she did what Trump asked, or sorry, what he had Charlie asked. She did it. You don't know that. You just act like, oh, she ignored it. She didn't. She honored it. She made content out of it the following year. And she told Trump she was going to do it. So it's not like it was a big surprise. She just made content. You're jealous or something. Something's going on here. But it's off. And it's off-putting. And you sound crazy. You have to stop. Somebody around this lady. I know I'm a really, really, really small channel. I know, I understand. But she needs somebody to tell her some of the things that I'm saying. Because she's out there and she doesn't even realize how crazy this looks. You can't sit here and do 2 full live streams on a lady and get almost every detail wrong. You look crazy. You're sabotaging your own platform. You're the one losing followers. I'll take some of them. Hey, listen, I don't even have 600. This is not a conversation about YouTube. This is a conversation about what are you doing with your platform? What are you doing? Because I believe Candace Owens And the reason I believe her is because she's giving receipts. You're not. You're just telling us what you believe. What else could it be? Because you can't think past of what else could it be?
The president of these here United States has asked you personally, can you fall back? Can you not? And instead, she breaches the trust of the president. I mean, if that's not professional malpractice and just professional suicide, I don't know what is. That's what
She didn't breach the trust. She did exactly what she said. What's going on, Mike? She honored what he asked her and told him, I'm going to bring it back up after you're done with this negotiation, whatever. But the following years when she did it, I almost want to ask that question too, Ms. Phoenix. This is weird. This is not normal
like
behavior.
she's controlled opposition. She actually went to her audience and said that. And I was like, this is a narcissist move is to, well, look at me. I've got heads of state asking me to be quiet. And I'm like, you have no idea. You might need the president's help one day. And if he's reaching out to you and he's asking you, can you just chill? Like, ain't you being sued? Can you just chill? And instead you double down. I'm like, wow, you crazy. She's functioning as an instrument to divide conservatives at the very moment that we should be united.
Trump knew, and I agree with this. As long as Candace told Trump she would speak on, I'm okay with it. She told Trump she would speak on. You know, she told that to Charlie Kirk. So this lady has done 2 live streams, biggest live streams of her career, her YouTube career. One is Candace Owens. Number 4 or 5 is Candace Owens. And all this pocket watching she was doing it's just silly. I don't know. That's all I got for today. Again, I'm a really, really small YouTuber. Why do I know more about Candace Owens analytics than this lady who's got 150,000 subs? She can't look at it and analyze it. The data, it's in front of her. She can't say, oh, wait a minute. This is when she was fired. She saw that as she scrubbed her page because she was fired. And she was desperate, so she started a Brigitte Macron narrative. She started a Brigitte Macron narrative before she got fired. Those views, the dip that you saw was because she had to get all the Daily Wire content off of her channel. And had she gone to any of those videos, she would have seen this. Had she gone to the videos, full view, she would have seen this here. She would have seen this here. She would have seen like and subscribe for new videos at this old channel that was the Daily Wire's channel. But she didn't even bother. It's probably the most laziest. I don't know if that's proper English. It was the laziest thing I've seen her do. But again, I don't watch her regularly. But the fact that she didn't even bother to click on the link and say, what is this? She would have realized exactly what happened just by going to this video.
Just trying to have one child and
it didn't have to be just this video. You can see exactly what happened by going to Candace's channel. It's clear as day, especially for somebody who's a YouTuber. It could not be clearer. All she had to do was go to live streams and say, what happened in April? What happened in March? Sorry, it's loading slow. All she had to do. And what's crazy is like, none of this is about Brigitte Macron. These are all 1 million plus views. 1 million, 800,000, or 900,000, 1 million. She's acting like she had to use Brigitte Macron to get views. And that's like, you don't watch? You guys see all the red on there? That's me. I've seen all these videos. I actually watch her. This lady doesn't watch. So when she's making stuff up, I'm like, no, that's not true. It's clear. You could see that I actually watch. All those little red lines mean I watched the whole thing. She can't say that, especially, oh my gosh, the Candace Owens or the Kamala Harris stuff was huge. Huge during the election cycle. This lady she didn't even bring that up. You know why? She doesn't watch. She admitted she doesn't watch. But had she gone down here, she would have seen this gap 4 years ago to 1 year ago, and then just asked the very simple questions. Why was there a gap there? But she didn't watch it. She didn't know what Candace Owens used to do. She used to do her live stream and then cut away to the exclusive content. Ben Shapiro does it. I don't watch him anymore, but he's always done that. So you watch the beginning of a live on YouTube and then cut away to go to Daily Wire. That's how they get you to pay to see the good stuff. It's just what it is. I agree. It looked really boring to me too. I'm like, I don't know about this. But when I watch it, I'm like, whoa, this is crazy. Because you start thinking about it, like, this is a president of a whole nation. And he was groomed from the age of 13 or 14 by his teacher who left her husband to be with him. That alone, you don't even have to go further than that. And it's like, okay, this is a scandal. But then you find out everything else that she went into, and I'm like, this is crazy. It wasn't just some wild conspiracy. She has receipts. She had receipts. So that's all I got. I appreciate everyone. TB2, welcome. Mike Nice, thank you, sir. As always, thanks for stopping by. Miss Phoenix, thank you. Miss Eve, I appreciate you. KMC, I did not see you. I'm sorry. I didn't see you come in. That's probably when I blanked out. Henry, thanks as always, man. Miss Just J, as always. Mel Dub, thank you, sir. Lester, thank you. Appreciate you stopping by. I said KMC just now. Who else was in here? Fat Tias, I appreciate you for stopping by, man. Thank you so much. NC Lady, B1. Thank you. Thanks for stopping by. Everyone, Uncle L, Lou, everyone who came by, I appreciate you all, as always. GWB, I didn't even see you come in here. Thanks, man. I appreciate you, as always. Everybody who came in here, man, I thank you all. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing. But when I see something crazy like that, I got to say, I'm going to do a live on it. This is a big YouTuber who should know better than what she was doing. And she's out of control. With that said, I appreciate you all. I am O Speaks. Like, subscribe, share. Shit, man. I wish you could share this with her. Not because I get a response, but so she stops because she's looking crazy. And I don't think she realizes how crazy she looks. Let her do her thing.